The other day I was riding the subway and I donned my ear defenders, and the woman across from me started yelling at me, telling me that her son's autistic and that she's all he has, that I was making a mockery of both of them. And I wanted to tell her that I was autistic too, but it caught in my throat because I know that she'd say that I wasn't. I'm told I'm not autistic enough constantly, implicitly and explicitly. I grew up in theater, thus I am expressive. I made good grades. The first word so many people use to describe me is empathetic. I mean, I'm here talking to you all, public speaking and performing, doing all these things that I shouldn't be able to if I was really autistic. Or if I somehow tricked everyone into seeing an identity that isn't there. When I first got diagnosed, my parents didn't believe it because it also tested my IQ, and they said it was too low for someone with my grades and test scores. And the woman who diagnosed me with female presenting autism. I don't think she was right about everything, not about me and not about the world. So what becomes of this piece of paper that I fought for? If I critique my diagnosis, am I no longer disabled? I struggle with feeling real and all these parts of my identity because they're not really tangible. I mean, I can't prove to you my maleness. If I'm in a little bit of pain all of the time, is that disability or just having a body? How do I perform autism for you in a palatable way? Key aspects of me are issues in perpetual debates about my personhood. I was supposed to be the golden child. I mean, I loved school and my teachers. I made good grades and I did extracurriculars. Everyone saw this bright future for me, except for me. I saw and still see a yawning black void ahead. I can manage school, but when I think of myself in the real world, I cannot fathom it, because then suddenly I lose all the rules and structure that I've depended on my entire life. If I only become an inconvenience to you now, does that mean I wasn't autistic before? I grew up in theater, and through that taught myself how to behave and present. I would listen for notes on line delivery and physicality and apply them to my everyday life. I had to construct myself around the idea of a person and perform that role constantly, no matter how much it hurt. I was desperately lonely and willing to perform however people wanted me to, so long as I was liked even the littlest bit. But as I got older and older with more and more to manage, it became harder and harder to maintain. The mass didn't grow with me, it stifled me, and suddenly I couldn't stop thinking about all this pressure pushing down on me, molding me into a shape that was foreign but liked. I thought that coming out as trans would solve the isolation, but there was still this gap between me and everyone else that seemed insurmountable. I tried to mask even harder to perform likability in an environment that already hated a part of me, but I was growing burnt out and overwhelmed. Rocking and flapping and humming were some of the only few healthy coping mechanisms I had left. I've begun not to mask in certain spaces when given express permission, and I recognize that it's a privilege we don't all get. I never knew how close I came to being crushed to death until I was allowed to put all of it down. And somehow, it all feels worth it when a fellow autistic student tells me that my unmasking has freed them to STEM too. I sometimes think about when I got assessed for gender dysphoria. I lied twice to get that piece of paper. I mean, I didn't know that I was lying at that time, but I wasn't telling the truth. I lied when I said that I'd never been sexually assaulted, and I lied when I said that I wasn't autistic. It haunts me sometimes how narrowly I escaped with those pieces of paper that were vital in getting me the health care I needed. And I can't help but wonder what would have happened to me if those realizations had been reversed. I see those cracks that I so narrowly missed, and I can't help but wonder at all of the people who weren't as lucky as I was, who fell into them. When J.K. Rowling came out as a TERF, one of the biggest issues she fearmongered over was the overrepresentation of autism in transgender kids. My existence is why she felt she could no longer maintain her silence on the harms of gender-affirming care. I can't help but see these aspects of my identity as intertwined when I'm always attacked on both levels. As a trans person, as an autistic person, my personhood and autonomy are always up for debate. I see them as connected, but when I try to speak of these identities in tandem, I'm told I must separate them out in order to be taken seriously. I'm told I don't deserve a say in what happens to my body. I'm told that I'm a danger to myself, simultaneously the threat and the children we must all worry for.